Welcome to Study Loop.
Our question says that two planes approach each other head-on. Each has a speed of 780 kilometers per hour, and they spot each other when they are initially 12 kilometers apart. How much time do the pilots have to take evasive action? Okay, so I wrote down what we were given in our problem, and that was that the velocity of plane 1, which I write as v1, is equal to the velocity of plane 2, v2, and those are both traveling at 700 kilometers per hour. And the distance between them when they spot each other is 12 kilometers. So now we need to figure out how much time they have before they collide. Well, their total velocity, since they're traveling towards one another, adds, right? So the total velocity is v1 plus v2, right? Because the time it's going to take for them to meet head on would be the exact same as the time it would take for something traveling twice the speed of one of the objects to reach something that's at rest, since they're both moving towards each other. So if you take v1 and add it to v2, you end up with 1,560 kilometers per hour. Okay, well, we know the velocity and we know the distance, and since distance is equal to velocity, which ours is the total velocity, times the time, we can find the time because we know velocity and distance. So the time is equal to the distance divided by the total velocity. Okay, so let's plug in those values that we have. We have 12.0 kilometers for distance. We have 1,560 kilometers per hour for speed. Okay. And so if we work this out, well, the kilometer units are going to cancel, and you're going to be left with this in units of hours, but it's going to be a fraction of an hour. And since fractions of an hour aren't very intuitive to work with, let's go ahead and convert this hours that we have into seconds. Well, we can do that by realizing there are 3,600 seconds in every hour. So if we multiply this by 3,600 over 1, we will convert that from hours into seconds. And when you do that, you realize that these plane pilots have 27, let's make this look more like a 7, less like a 2, 27.7 seconds. So the time that they have is much shorter than the time it took for us to calculate this problem. So they should probably have some onboard computers that do this for them. Let's box that in as our solution.